Alright, my fellow bookworms, so let's get into it. So, today's book, this genre usually is not my thing, but I had seen this book, I'm pretty sure on BookTok, maybe, and I saw it, I guess at either Books A Million or Barnes & Noble, I don't really remember, but either way, today's book, if I can get it out of my bookcase, is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. So, again, I'm pretty sure I saw this on BookTok. Somewhere. I really don't remember. But either way, I knew I had seen it, and I had saved it for some unknown reason. I don't know. Just, most of the time I'm not a mystery thriller person. I like my romance books, but sometimes I gotta go in a different direction. So this book, so it goes to tell of a woman that lives in a lake house. And I mean, I figure y'all can guess that. But basically her husband, she has a little bit of a drinking problem, and so her family has just kind of, in a sense, stopped talking to her for the most part, and they sent her to the lake house thinking that that was going to solve her problems, and obviously it has not. So what had happened was her husband drowned in that lake a few years prior. And that's where they were living at the time, and then she went home, and oddly enough, I think she was like in theater or something. I read a book and she did theater. I may have my books confused. But either way, and of course her husband died, so she started drinking, it became a problem, and so her family was like, you need to go back to the lake house. And so either way, like I said, her husband drowned in that lake, so it was just kind of a weird thing. So either way, she's sitting out there and she sees something floating in the lake, realizes it's a person, and so she gets in her boat and rows out and saves them and all that fantastic junk. And it turns out to be her neighbor from across the lake, so that's where you get The House Across the Lake. And so they become friends, and then just weird things start happening with the neighbor across the lake, and she starts suspecting that it's the husband's fault, as if he's either abusing her or just kind of keeping her in the house away from everybody, and it gets really weird. And so but it turns out when she was drowning, the soul of the dead husband possessed her, and so she has obviously become him, and so she's not herself, and it's a really good read. And so either way, and like I said, this is usually not my thing, but I did not want to put this book down, so I actually finished it in a span of 2 days, which was still a lot more than I wanted because I just wanted to keep reading. So I started this one on January 1st, and I finished, nope, not January, October. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. I typed that in wrong. So I started this book on October 1st, and I finished it on October 3rd. And it, like I said, even that was too much. I just kept wanting to read it. So either way, Goodreads review time. This is really becoming my favorite part, I think. So either way, yeah. On Goodreads, I gave House Across the Lake 5 stars. And I said, again, not good with words, don't come at me. I said, wow, just a good read. Literally didn't want to put it down and talk about twists. And so, this was probably the first book I read that I was like, I think I want to keep a book that, like, all sorts of genres. And so this was the first book I kept that it was like a mystery thriller. And I'm not going to lie, I think this book would make a pretty good movie. I feel like that would be interesting. But either way, I guess that's all I got for you this time. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So there's my review of The House Across the Lake.